Everyone loved Microsoft's gaming showcase, and for good reason. They brought out the big guns, broke the internet for a minute. My only problem is all the games they had on there were on Game Pass. Those people who are Xbox enthusiasts, this is not really good because you need exclusives to sell your game boxes. You don't sell game boxes without game box exclusives. That's how it's always been, going back to the old Atari. Atari was successful because they had gaming experiences you couldn't get anywhere else. People went to the arcades because you had gaming experiences you couldn't get anywhere else. So it's not just about having exclusive games, but exclusive gaming experiences. For example, I bought Star Ocean Second Story R. They put it out on Switch. It was actually announced on Switch in one of the better Nintendo Directs from a while back. But they also had it on PC. I ended up getting it on PC. Why? Because it just looked way better on the PC. The PC offered a gaming experience I couldn't get on my Nintendo Switch. I mean, I'm not a shill for any of these gaming companies. I'm just trying to play games I like. If Zelda was on PS5 or Xbox, I'd have a PS5 or Xbox. I mean, it is what it is. People have been talking about how good Hi-Fi Rush is. I personally have never played it because, again, I don't have an Xbox. But, many people have been talking about how great of a game it was. I mean, it looks good. It looks like something that would be on the Switch, though it probably wouldn't run very well. It'd probably run at like 30 frames per second or something. But it looks like a Switch game from the art style. And apparently Microsoft really liked it. They said it did well. It pleased them how well the game did as far as sales. It did pretty good in sales according to Microsoft. You come out with this great game that everyone loves. It gets a lot of awards, but you shut the studio down anyway. This was actually a good move for Microsoft. Horrible for consumers, but a good move for Microsoft. Why? Hi-Fi Rush didn't make enough money. I mean, that's why a lot of these studios are being shuttered because they're not making any money. Truth is, Microsoft is no longer in the business of making game boxes and selling games for the game box. They're done with that. They're not doing that anymore. Them shutting down Hi-Fi Rush is proof positive this is what they're doing. Their business model at this point is really microtransactions and live services. That's what they're doing. And it's working. I mean, this is a profitable company. Their gaming division is profitable. They're making money out here. Their revenue has increased dramatically, and all due to their ABK purchase. Activision Blizzard King. Those are the games that are making money for them. And those are all microtransaction games. The Call of Duties, the Candy Crush. That's where their money's coming from, and that's what they're tailoring their gaming business towards. Just hey, well, we don't have to sell millions of copies. We sell 1 or 2 million of these things. Those 1 or 2 million people are gonna pay thousands of dollars in microtransactions to get their new guns and new skins or what have you. That's how we're gonna make our money. Microsoft is planning on making another console. Why are they going to do this? While they're cannibalizing the sales of their console with Game Pass and putting all their software on different platforms. It's because they're covering the bases. They want to give you as many access points to their software as they can. People who have gaming PCs will be able to play Xbox software. People who might not have a gaming PC but have access to the internet will have access to Microsoft software. People on mobile will have access to the software, and people who want to do consoles, they'll be able to buy those games for the console. So they just want people to get to their software. And having a game box available is just another way for you to access their software. I mean, at the end of the day, Microsoft is not a gaming company. They're not Nintendo. Nintendo is a gaming company. They're also a gaming developer. Microsoft is about selling software for computers. So they're not worried about making great games. They're worried about great games making money for them. They don't know how to make games and they don't have to know how to make games. They'll just buy people who do. And that's why they spent all that money for Activision Blizzard King. And unfortunately for gamers, it's working for them. I mean, no one likes this shift. I mean, someone like Tango, I mean, I think Nintendo should probably try to buy him. Try to get that game on, Switch 2 maybe. But this is where Microsoft is going. It's working for them. It's a business decision which is working. It's not working for the gamers. And that's understandable. We want to see great games. People invested in the Xbox console platform. You're being abandoned. And this has been how it's gone. I mean, Phil Spencer said it. He said it a long time ago when people asked him about Xbox. He started talking about the Legion Go and how he's going to put all the games on all these other platforms. I mean, you're not going to sell your game box doing that. Everything being on Game Pass. I mean, why should I buy an Xbox? What's the point? And they've been doing this. But a lot of people have been in denial. They've been coming up with reasons like, no, Xbox is going to be all right. And they are going to be all right. They're going to be just fine. You're going to have a problem because you're not going to have any games for your Xbox. And then quite frankly, if you have an Xbox, I mean, you're still going to be able to play your games. They're not taking games away from you. They're just making them available to more people. That's their business model. It's going to make them more money. If you want to be on a platform where, they're going to focus everything on their console, their hardware, then you're going to have to deal with Nintendo. Because they're the only people who are doing that and doing that successfully. With Xbox, microtransactions and live services are the way forward. Because it's making them money. And at the end of the day, money talks, BS walks. So I understand the lament of the gamers because they're pretty much antithetical to what you want as a gamer who wants to buy a console. People don't want to do everything digitally because they want to be able to own what they have. They don't want a situation where they can take something away from you when the service goes down. Totally understandable. But this is it, man. I mean, they're making money. They're profitable. Their revenue is way up. And this is how they're going to go because it's about making money. All these people are here to make money, and that includes Nintendo. That's why Nintendo is never going to put any of their games on PC because they make money keeping their games on their game boxes. Business, nothing personal.
You see the community talk about the console side of things. Do you think you've lost the focus or maybe put too much onto the PC side? Do you think that the console is still getting the console love that it deserves, whether it be the homepage update, achievements, of course, looking forward and using the power of this next gen? Do you think you guys have lost that focus or is it still there? And can we see more love on that side?
Well, we'll definitely continue to focus on making our console experience as great as it can be. I like the homepage refresh and some stuff. I will say this might be disruptive as well. We have a different vision. Paris talked about this. It's play the games you want with the people you want anywhere you want. We want Xbox to be something that people who buy our console can feel like they're a member of. Obviously, who are playing on PC, who are playing on cloud, that they feel like they're full members of our ecosystem. Game Pass players can play on many different devices, and we remain fully committed to that. We're not in the business of out-consoling Sony or out-consoling Nintendo. There isn't really a great solution or win for us. And I know that will upset a ton of people, but it's just the truth of the matter is that when you're third place in the console marketplace, and the top two players are as strong as they are and have, in certain cases, very, very discrete focus on doing deals and other things that will that kind of make being Xbox hard for us as a team. That's on us, not on anybody else. Our vision is that everybody who's on console has to feel like they have a great experience and they're a first-class citizen. They've invested a ton in our platform. But we are not in a position, and I see it out there. I see commentary that if you just build great games, everything would turn around. It's just not true that if we go off and build great games, all of a sudden you're going to see console share shift in some dramatic way. We lost the worst generation to lose in the Xbox One generation, where everybody built their digital library of games. So when you go and you're building on Xbox, we want our Xbox community to feel awesome. But this idea that if we just focused more on great games on our console, that somehow we're going to win the console race, I think doesn't really lay into the reality of most people. Like 90% of the people every year who walk into a retailer to buy a console are already a member of one of the three ecosystems, and their digital library is there. This is the first generation where the big games that they're playing were games that were available last gen. When you think about Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, like the continuity from generation to generation is so strong. I see a lot of pundits out there that kind of want to go back to the time where we all had cartridges and discs and every new generation was a clean slate and you could switch the whole console share. That's just not the world that we are in today. There is no world where Starfield's an 11 out of 10 and people start selling their PS5s. That's not going to happen. So what we have to do, and we have this unique vision because we see what creators want to do. Creators want to build games that can meet players on any screen. People play with their friends regardless of what other screen they're on. And the console is the core of the Xbox brand. There's no doubt. So like we will stay focused on making sure that console experience is awesome. But I know some people want to hold us up of just being a better green version of what the blue guys do. And I'm just going to say, like, there's not a win for Xbox in staying in the wake of somebody else. We have to go off and do our own thing with Game Pass, with the stuff we do with xCloud, and the way we build our games.